Hollywood contracts are a world of their own, filled with perks, power plays, and a few downright bizarre demands. Some stars use their influence to protect their comfort, while others push for clauses that reflect their personal quirks, deep passions, or even long-standing fears. Behind the scenes, what happens in those negotiations can be just as entertaining and dramatic as what ends up on screen. Curious what your favorite celebrities have really asked for? Let's just say, you're in for some surprises. Jamie Foxx. After Jamie Foxx won an Oscar for playing Ray Charles in Ray, his fame skyrocketed. Though he had done some dramatic work before, he was mostly known as a singer, comedian, and all-around entertainer. After his big win, he teamed up with director Michael Mann for Collateral and Miami Vice. Foxx had already agreed to do Miami Vice before the Oscar, but once filming started, he demanded a higher salary than co-star Colin Farrell. While both Mann and Farrell had reputations for being tough to work with, it was Foxx's behavior that caused the most problems during the shoot. One of the oddest things in Foxx's contract was his refusal to film scenes on boats or planes. A crew member explained that he was scared of both. While it's fair to want to stay safe, it was a strange rule, especially since Miami Vice, a movie he helped pitch, is about drug trafficking in a coastal city where boats and planes are key. Vin Diesel and Dwayne Johnson. If you've ever wanted to see who would win in a fight between Dom, Hobbs, and Shaw from the Fast and Furious movies, you're out of luck, because their contracts won't allow it. The three actors agreed to something called an equal pain clause. It means none of them can look like they lost a fight. Vin Diesel, for example, didn't want his character to seem weaker than Statham's. But keeping track of every punch was exhausting, so they created this rule instead. As a result, their fight scenes never have a clear winner. They always get interrupted before one of them comes out on top. It might sound like ego, but it makes sense for actors known for playing tough, unbeatable characters. Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson's Joker in the 1989 Batman movie is still one of the most iconic performances ever. He knew it would be big, so he made sure his contract worked in his favor. He took a smaller upfront paycheck in exchange for a cut of the film's profits and merchandise, a move that made him extremely rich. Nicholson was the first person hired for the movie, even before the director or Batman actor were chosen. Because of his early involvement, the studio gave in to his unusual requests, like getting time off whenever the LA Lakers had a home game. He's a huge Lakers fan, and when filming moved to England, he made sure all the games were recorded and sent to him. Barbra Streisand. Barbra Streisand is a legendary performer with major success in music, film, and theater, and she makes sure her contracts reflect her high standards, even when it comes to bathrooms. Known for films like Funny Girl and The Way We Were, Streisand is one of the few entertainers to win an EGOT, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony, though her Tony was honorary. With that level of fame, she has some very specific demands. Every private bathroom she uses must have peach-colored toilet paper and designer peach-colored towels to match her skin tone. She also asks for designer floor lamps and insists that all toilet bowls be filled with rose petals. Just a touch of luxury for one of Hollywood's most iconic stars. Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy was one of the biggest comedy stars of the 80s and 90s, rising to fame through Saturday Night Live and hit movies like Beverly Hills Cop and Trading Places. While his career has slowed in recent years and he's not cast as often, he still holds a lot of influence in Hollywood. One unusual way Murphy uses that influence is through his trailer demands on movie sets. He insists that everything inside be brand new, from underwear and socks with tags still on, to unopened toiletries like a fresh toothbrush and toothpaste. He throws everything away after each day and expects it all to be replaced with new items the next morning. It's an expensive and wasteful habit, but it shows just how much pull he still has behind the scenes. Danny Trejo. Many actors in Hollywood have long, impressive careers but don't always get widespread recognition. These are often character actors, the ones other actors and film fans deeply respect. Danny Trejo is one of them. He's been acting since 1985 and is best known to younger audiences as Uncle Isidore in Spy Kids, but he's had a long career in action films with directors like Quentin Tarantino and Michael Mann. There's been a rumor that whenever Trejo plays a villain, his contract requires that the character must die before the movie ends. In 2017, Trejo confirmed this was true. He wanted his villain roles to end in death so that young viewers would see that crime doesn't pay. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is one of the biggest action stars in the world, known for doing his own dangerous stunts, even ones that nearly killed him. While it sounds funny, his choice of underwear actually plays a role in how he performs these stunts. Cruise insists on wearing custom-made G-string thongs made from soft, stretchy fabric during action scenes. Why? Because they give him better comfort and flexibility while doing risky moves. He reportedly keeps about 50 of them on set. Besides his unique underwear rule, Cruise also has strict control over his image. He doesn't allow action figures or video games to use his likeness, which is why you won't find many Ethan Hunt toys or games featuring his exact face. Steve McQueen. Even classic Hollywood stars had diva moments. When The Towering Inferno was being made, Steve McQueen and Paul Newman, both big names, clashed over status. Newman was already a respected, award-winning actor, while McQueen was more of a cool action star who cared a lot about being seen as equal to Newman. McQueen even went so far as to count every line of dialogue in the script and demanded more lines just to match Newman, which Newman thought was ridiculous. The biggest issue came down to whose name would appear first on the movie poster. Both wanted top billing. So, the studio got creative. McQueen's name came first when read left to right, but Newman's was printed higher, giving both stars a way to claim top billing depending on how you looked at it. Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts might seem down to earth, but one of her contract demands is surprisingly over the top. On every movie set, she requires at least 4 gallons of Evian bottled water per day. If the studio fails to provide it, they face a fine in the 6 figures. Here's the twist. She reportedly doesn't drink the water, she uses it to wash her hair. While this sounds super wasteful, some say she's actually eco-conscious and sometimes skips showers to save water. It's a strange mix of luxury and green habits, but she's not the only star to treat her hair with mineral water. George Clooney and Will Smith. George Clooney is one of the few actors still seen as a true old-school movie star. In the film Gravity, he had a smaller role compared to Sandra Bullock, but his fame helped give the movie extra attention. Because of that, Clooney made some big demands in his contract, including having a beach hut built next to his trailer and a basketball court to relax between scenes. Will Smith had similar star treatment during Men in Black 3. Instead of a beach hut, he wanted a full RV just for his gym equipment and a massive 2-story trailer that was nicer than most local apartments. The trailer was so big, it actually had to be moved after New York residents complained it blocked their view. Reese Witherspoon. Fans of Legally Blonde will love this. Reese Witherspoon loved her character, Elle Wood's fashion so much that she made sure she could keep all of the wardrobe from Legally Blonde too. That included every stylish outfit, and all 77 pairs of Jimmy Choo shoes. It was part of her contract. Roger Moore. Roger Moore, who played James Bond in 7 films, was a big fan of cigars even before he took on the role. He actually made cigars part of Bond's image, something that wasn't in the original books. In his contract, Moore demanded an unlimited supply of expensive Monte Cristo cigars while filming, which was a bold request back then, and would still be today. A box now costs about $280. Because Moore smoked them so often, Bond did too in all of Moore's movies. Interestingly, in the original James Bond novels by Ian Fleming, Bond never smoked cigars. Fleming even associated cigar smells with villains. But Moore clearly preferred his cigars over sticking to the source material. Samuel L. Jackson. As of August 2023, Samuel L. Jackson holds the record for the highest-grossing film career of any American or Canadian actor. This is thanks to major roles like Nick Fury in the Marvel movies, Mace Windu in Star Wars, Frozone in The Incredibles, and his work with Quentin Tarantino, among others. With so much success, Jackson has serious pull when it comes to contracts. One of his unique rules? He won't do a second take if he feels the first one was perfect. Another fun clause, the studio must pay for him to play golf at least twice a week during filming, even if he's not needed on set. Jackson is a huge golf fan, and clearly, he makes sure to enjoy his downtime no matter how busy the project.